All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. It is raining. It's going to rain for days and days, but it's the weekend, so that's all that matters. Yesterday, Octane Friday, good discussion about those hair ballads versus power ballads. Who's a hair band? Who's a hard rock band? Thanks for all the comments. Keep them coming. We are going back today to, it could be this date. I got two dates for this, but we're going back to 1982 when The Clash put out their fifth studio album, Combat Rock. One of my trusted sites says today is the anniversary, but other sites say it was May 14th. But in any event, it's right around this time in 1982. That fifth album went to number 2 in the UK and number 7 in the United States. 61 weeks on the charts in the United States, however. Over a year on the charts. If I remember that summer, that was my introduction to The Clash. The first time I ever heard The Clash is this record. This is an interesting record. And it's certainly not their best record, but it's certainly probably their most well-known for a certain subgroup of people. Never mind London Calling, but I'm just saying in the masses as far as songs are concerned. It sold 3 million copies, or several million copies. Maybe it was only 2 million, but they're coming off Sandinista. That is their awesome album from 1980, and this is when the band starts falling apart. They're just trying to figure out the direction they're going in. They're feeling like their management's boring, too mainstream. They fire their manager. They rehire their old one from back in their days of anarchy, trying to rekindle that feeling. Their drummer is just doing more and more cocaine and heroin, eventually being fired after the completion of this record. There's a lot going on with the band in this recording of this record. They do the recording in Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix studio, originally going to be called Rat Patrol from Fort Bragg. This record is just full of themes of the Vietnam war in general. They got, that general vibe as far as that's concerned. The cover was taken in Thailand. Then when they finished this record, they got on a plane and they did a tour out that way, and they did the cover of the album there. And it got this got released, and lo and behold, MTV picks up the video for Rock the Casbah and Should I Stay or Should I Go? And it was all over. I mean, in 1982, they only had so many videos, right? I had MTV in 1982. Very early on, I had MTV, and they really only had so many. And so this was like right up their alley, and they would just play these songs all the time. So much so that I think that most people suffer from a little bit of overplay of. There are 2 of the 3 singles on here, Should I Stay or Should I Go, and of course Rock the Casbah, which is also a song that brings consternation to all kinds of people who have just tired of hearing that song. And I get it. Loved the song when it came out, though. So they put this record out, huge success. Again, MTV propels them. They do a tour. They're opening up for The Who. But they're fighting. This is the beginning of the end. They managed to put one more record out soon thereafterwards, but this is the beginning of the end for them. But there's some good music on here. There's the reviews were pretty good for the most part. For me, it was side A of the cassette that was really what I listened to the most. So those are the songs we'll talk about, because those are where all your strongest songs are. You got Know Your Rights. That was the first single. Awesome song, by the way. Car Jamming, Should I Stay or Should I Go, which I'm good with that one. That one's all right. Rock the Casbah, I don't know. What do you got to say about that? That's an iconic song, whether you're sick of it or not. You got to give it its due at least a little bit from there. But I personally change the station when I hear that song these days, just because I've heard it so much, and there's easily 15 other Clash songs that I would rather hear by far before this record. And Radio Clash. This is Radio Clash is one of those ones. But anyway, Red Angel, Dragnet, and then Straight to Hell. Straight to Hell was always my favorite song on this record from the very beginning when I was a kid. When I played it, I just love Straight to Hell. It's a song, I mean, it's a serious song about the children of American soldiers left behind, but just the song, again, my favorite song on the record. They would end up doing the US Festival on this date in 1983. We did that on Song of the Day, Season 1, Episode 52, if you recall. I'll post that below. That's one of my favorite episodes because of all the facts around that one, so I still enjoy that one to this day. By the time they got to that, as a headliner, they were not going to play. They were fighting over the ticket prices, saying they had to give to charity. They were fighting with other bands. I mean, this was the last time that Mick Jones played with The Clash. That was terrible. It was just a disaster for them on this date in 83. Mick Jones, of course, went on. He left and formed General Public. Remember, we talked about that in the past. He was in General Public for like a few weeks, maybe tops. He's actually, I think his picture's on their debut album cover, even though he's not credited on it at all. He left in the middle of that. And then, of course, went on to form Big Audio Dynamite, which I'm a fan of. All right, what's your song of the day? 7 minutes. How'd that happen so fast? Your song of the day is Should I Stay or Should I Go? Enjoy The Clash today, if you will. There's some people in this house, one in particular, who won't be listening today. But The Clash, are they a divisive band? Are you a Clash fan? Either you're a Clash fan or you're not. There's no middle of the road Clash fans out there. Is that a true statement? I know who you are. I know who you are when you're a Clash fan anyway. So, enjoy your song of the day. Combat Rock, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.